Our top story now, and the Congress hit out claiming that bank accounts were frozen by the IT department and that it's democracy that has been frozen. Even though they were granted relief by the IT tribunal, they have to keep 115 crore in their accounts. Party treasurer Ajay Markan claimed this meant they could not pay their bills and salaries, while the IT department says 135 crore remains outstanding tax owed to them and that the party has multiple accounts. In fact, the party treasurer Ajay Markan has just put out a fresh post claiming notices are being sent to their bankers. He shared those notices and he says, is this not attaching, seizing or freezing our accounts?
2 days after its 4 bank accounts were frozen, the Congress party treasurer went public ahead of its appeal to the Income Tax Tribunal, saying the party had been immobilized before the general elections.
हमारे देश में democracy freeze हुई है.
The case relates to a fine and demand being imposed for a delay in filing income tax returns in 2018-19 and a refusal to pay the penalty.
We don't have any money to spend. We don't have money to pay the electricity bills. We don't have money to pay salaries to our employees. Everything is impacted, no? Not only Nyaya, everything will be impacted. All political activities of the Congress party will be impacted.
But the freezing of the accounts was temporary. The Income Tax Tribunal has mandated that an amount of 115 crores has to be maintained, which the party doesn't have in its current accounts. In a statement, the Income Tax Department said the withdrawal of recovery money is a routine process. The Indian National Congress's accounts is operational and Indian National Congress has multiple accounts for activities.
We have very good case on facts. We had filed a return on time. It is being misconstrued and only for that reason we can't be punished disproportionately.
The Congress's attack on democracy being stifled was countered by the Prime Minister at a rally in Haryana's Rewari.
कांग्रेस सोचती है कि सत्ता में रहना उसका जन्मसिद्ध अधिकार है, इसलिए गरीब का ये बेटा जब से पीएम बना है ये एक के बाद एक मेरे खिलाफ साजिशें करते जा रहे हैं.
The income tax hearing will be held on the 21st of this month, but the political battle has taken to the streets with both the BJP and the Congress trading charges against each other as the country awaits to know the names of the donors of the electoral bonds. In New Delhi, Sunil Prabhu, NDTV.
In other news now, a day after the Supreme Court struck down electoral bonds scheme in a setback to the centre, this was on grounds that it violated citizens' right to information, was unconstitutional and may lead to a quid pro quo arrangement between political parties and donors. The government has said it is now studying the order. Sources told NDTV the government is weighing options and will not at this stage move to overrule the country's highest court. Let's go across to Vasudha for more. So Vasudha, the ordinance route is not being thought about just yet. Tell us more.
Well, Gaki, it's just a day after the Supreme Court came up with this order, which I think is a setback to all political parties, especially the BJP, striking down the electoral bond scheme, which has been the strength of many political parties. But what I hear from my sources is that there is thinking in all upper echelons of the government. They're all looking at options. Of course, they're looking at the trust model. They're looking at various other models, but they're very clear that this was a model that was brought in to improve the murky system that existed in 2017, before 2017. And in fact, the sources also say that even ads in newspapers and media companies would be driven by cash. And they believe that electoral bonds in some ways changed that. So it was not just about transparency, it was also making a system better. But of course, now there is a problem. What I understand is that there is thinking on this. They are weighing their options. There is a team that is looking at this order and studying it very carefully and making it very clear that the language used by the court, of course, does not define their position and does not define the intent with which the BJP at the center had brought in this particular thing. But of course, the other problem is, of course, SBI being asked by the court to release details about donors and their donations, which, government sources have said that clearly goes against banking laws. And that is something that they are really concerned about. But we can definitely see a lot of action and thought and ideating in this particular area in the next few days.
All right. Thanks so much, Vasudha, for joining us with those details. News now from Bengal. In the political firestorm over the alleged harassment of villagers in Sandesh Khali by aides of a Trinamool Congress strongman escalated today with two delegations, one led by senior leaders of the BJP, the other by the Congress, being stopped from going to the area. The BJP has repeatedly claimed that women in the village have been raped and sexually harassed by aides of Trinamool strongman Sheikh Shah Jahan, and the ruling party is not letting complaints be filed, while the Trinamool has rubbished these allegations, accusing the BJP of trying to foment trouble.
राज्यपाल जी भी बहुत दुखी हैं। उन्होंने सभी बात उन्होंने सुनी और बहुत ही दुखी हैं। हम लोग उच्च न्यायालय में अर्जी करेंगे कि कानूनी तौर पे हमें वहां पे जाने की अनुमति दे, और हम लोग संदेश खाली जाके रहेंगे। संदेश खाली में जिस तरह से महिलाओं के साथ, बच्चियों के साथ, वहां के नई बहुओं के साथ जो अत्याचार हुआ है टीएमसी के गुंडों के द्वारा, पुलिस के द्वारा, उसको हम उजागर भी करना चाहते हैं।
A BJP delegation led by union ministers blocked from going to Sandesh Khali by the police. This is the third time a BJP team has been stopped. The 6-member BJP fact-finding team met the governor on the issue. Earlier, State BJP President Shukanto Mojumdar and Leader of Opposition Shubhendu Adhikari had been stopped by the state police. Not just the BJP, even the Congress delegation led by Leader of Congress in the Lok Sabha Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary was also stopped at the same spot as the BJP team.
You can see these bamboo barricades that have been put up to prevent any political party or any political team from going to the other side. So these are heavy bamboo barricades that have been put up here, and the Congress delegation has been stopped right here with riot control police deployed right here with tear gas shells, etc. so that if they try and move forward, then they will not be allowed to go forward from here. But you can see, of course, the Congress trying to move forward, the police stopping them here. This is, of course, in a place called Rampur, as the Congress delegation attempts to go to Sandesh Khali.
বাংলার মুখ্যমন্ত্রী এই মুহূর্তে আপনার জন্য একটাই উপাধি আমার তরফ থেকে, ইউ আর এ বেঙ্গলি কুইন অফ ক্রুয়েলটি। আপনি বাংলার নৃশংসতার এক রানী, ক্ষমতায় থেকে এই বাংলাকে আপনি নৃশংসতার বাংলায় রূপান্তরিত করেছেন। আপনাকে ধিক্কার। সন্দেশখালী আজকে আপনি আটকাচ্ছেন, কালকে আটকাবেন।
Earlier, Arun Haldar of the National Commission for Scheduled Castes demanded President's rule in Bengal over Sandesh Khali.
महामहिम राष्ट्रपति जी मैडम को जो रिपोर्ट दिया है उसमें ये चीज लिखा है कि मैडम अभी आराम से जो कानून में है आराम से आप राष्ट्रपति शासन के लिए सुपारिश कर सकता है, क्योंकि बंगाल का हालात अभी इतना खराब है, विशेष रूप से जो शोषित वंचित श्रेणी का लोग होता है, इनको सेव करने के लिए सरकार को अलग दृष्टि से देखना चाहिए।
The TMC accused the BJP of trying to destabilize the government in West Bengal.
Despicable for the BJP to use the incidents at Sandesh Khali to try and target the Trinamool Congress government in Bengal. This is clearly an orchestrated exercise before the Lok Sabha polls against the one chief minister who is standing up to them.
The allegations that have emerged in connection with Sandesh Khali have become a major political flashpoint, but the local strongman, Sheikh Shah Jahan, is still evading arrest. With prohibitory orders in place till the weekend, more political visits are expected next week. With camera person Aniruddha Tripathi in North 24 Parganas district of West Bengal, Saurabh Gupta, NDTV.
News now from Delhi, and in a show of strength amid speculation of his arrest following the 6th summons issued to him in connection with the alleged liquor policy scam, Delhi Chief Minister and AAP Chief Arvind Kejriwal today moved a sudden trust vote in the Delhi Assembly. The Chief Minister once again alleged attempts to poach AAP MLAs of money being offered and claimed that the BJP is attempting Operation Lotus again. The discussion on the trust vote will take place in the Assembly tomorrow.
दो एमएलए आए अलग अलग, एक दिन आया एक दूसरे दिन आया, और आके दोनों ने एक ही बात कही। उन्होंने कहा कि ये बीजेपी वाले आए थे हमारे पास और उन्होंने हमें कहा कि देखो भाई अब थोड़े दिन बाद तुम्हारे मुख्यमंत्री को हम गिरफ्तार कर लेंगे, उसके बाद हमने ऑलरेडी 21 एमएलएज को संपर्क कर लिया है और 21 एमएलए मान गए हैं पार्टी छोड़ने के लिए और उसे संपर्क कर रहे हैं। शराब घोटाले की आड़ में गिरफ्तार करके आम आदमी पार्टी के सभी नेताओं को इन्होंने गिरफ्तार कर रखा है। हमारा एक भी एमएलए नहीं टूटा, हमारे सारे के सारे एमएलए आज भी हमारे साथ हैं। अध्यक्ष महोदय, मैं आपकी अनुमति से निम्नलिखित प्रस्ताव प्रस्तुत करता हूं कि यह सदन मंत्री परिषद में विश्वास व्यक्त करता है।
News now from Karnataka, where BJP MLAs walked out of the assembly as Chief Minister Siddaramaiah presented the budget for 2024. The BJP MLAs then held protests on the steps of the Vidhan Sabha and later called it a hopeless budget, while the Congress hit out over reduced allocation of funds from the centre for the state.
Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah's budget speech was punctuated with political accusations of unjust allocation of funds to Karnataka by the centre. As soon as the Chief Minister made the accusations at the beginning of his speech, BJP MLAs walked out in protest and even held a protest with placards accusing the Chief Minister of false promises outside the house.
Policies or the tax devolution what was adopted by the Congress from the time of independence till now. The NDA government has increased by 10% the tax devolution or the sharing of tax, and even the recommendation or the guidelines whatever was given by the RBI governor was taken up in the right spirit by the NDA government, and even the tax devolution has happened as per the tax commission or the 14th and 15th finance commission. As per that recommendation only the tax devolution has happened.
The political slugfest aside, despite a revenue deficit of over 27,000 crores, the budget reiterated the government's focus on welfare guarantees. In total outlay of 3.8 lakh crore, the government set aside 52,000 crores for the 5 guarantees. In total, 1,20,000 crore has been allocated to various welfare schemes. 28 paisa for every rupee spent will come through borrowings. The fiscal deficit for the state is estimated at 2.95% and is within the prescribed limit. The budget accused the centre of causing losses of nearly 60,000 crore to the state due to unscientific implementation of GST, and also over 45,000 crore losses due to lesser allocations in the last 7 years.
And we are just trying to tell the state, central government, look, these are the injustices that are happening. This is the economic inequality practices that you are bringing in. It's hurting the people of Karnataka. We are not against the federal structure. We are not against the devolution of funds. We are just merely asking that let there be equitable distribution.
This Karnataka budget seems to be defining the battle lines that will be expected in the upcoming Lok Sabha election. While the Congress has been banking on the centre versus state narrative, the BJP has been attacking the state government, claiming that they've not been delivering on their promise. With camera persons Kumar and Govind, Pratibha Raman in Bengaluru for NDTV.
News now from the northeast to Manipur, where tension prevailed in the Churachandpur district. This after fresh protests broke out yesterday evening that turned violent, and 2 people were killed in those protests and over 40 injured in clashes with security forces. Ratnadeep Chaudhary reports.
A total shutdown in Manipur's Churachandpur following face-off between protesters and security forces on Thursday night. A mob of hundreds in the Kuki-Zo-dominated district ransacked, vandalized and even set on fire vehicles and government buildings. There was an attempt to breach the Superintendent of Police office, Deputy Commissioner's office and residents were also targeted. Protesters were demanding the reinstatement of Head Constable Siamlal Paul, who took a selfie in a bunker of armed miscreants and village defense volunteers atop a hill. The constable was suspended pending investigation. The protesters were demanding his reinstatement.
Once the center forces or the forces stationed in the ASP office started firing tear gas upon them, the thing took a violent turn wherein the people, hesitating people resorted to violence.
There is curfew imposed in Churachandpur. Mobile internet has been shut in the area for 5 days. Churachandpur had made headlines since last year, being the epicenter of the ethnic unrest. The fresh violence has left many injured in clashes with security forces, apart from casualties. The timing of this renewed violence is crucial, as it comes after the Chief Minister N. Biren Singh declared that immigrants will be deported.
Already, State Cabinet has approved in 2022, immediately after the ILP was enacted. Based on the inland permit system rules that 1961 was placed here, and it was approved by the State Cabinet in 2022. Long back.
The Kuki-Zo community has however alleged that several tribals are being branded as immigrants. Earlier in Imphal, which is dominated by the Meitei community, there were demonstrations, human chain protests, pushing for deportation of alleged illegal immigrants. With BM Sanju in Imphal and K. Mangte in Churachandpur, Ratndeep Chaudhary for NDTV.
All right, some aviation news now. In 10 months after Go First suspended operations and then filed an application for insolvency, essentially went bankrupt, now 2 prospective buyers have submitted bids. SpiceJet promoter Ajay Singh, along with Busy Bee Airways, a joint bid, and Sky1, a Sharjah-based company that specializes in an array of aviation services. Here's a report.
More than a dozen Go First aircraft grounded at Delhi airport after the airline suspended operations on the 3rd of May 2023 and filed an application for insolvency. Now 2 prospective buyers have submitted bids to acquire the airline. SpiceJet promoter Ajay Singh, along with Busy Bees Airways, a joint bid, and Sky1, a Sharjah-based company that specializes in an array of aviation services. SpiceJet, in the midst of a major revival after itself escaping bankruptcy, would ensure resource allocation to achieve cost efficiency of the new airline, with Ajay Singh saying, by strategically aligning their flight schedules and destinations, SpiceJet and the new airline can capture a larger share of the market and cater to diverse passenger needs effectively. The other bidder, Sky1, says its possible acquisition of Go First will add to its portfolio. Its chairman says, given our vast aviation experience across the globe, we are confident about the acquisition. Indian aviation is at the cusp of unprecedented growth and we are glad to play a part in it. The bids from both parties are now being submitted to the National Company Law Tribunal, which is overseeing what remains of Go First through a resolution professional. Bidders alone will not decide the fate of Go First. The resolution professional needs to accept the bids and see if they are viable in the first place. Once that happens, the airline will need to be staffed with crew, many of whom have been re-employed already. But perhaps most significantly, Pratt & Whitney engines, which have plagued Go First and have resulted in the airline being grounded in the first place, must be replaced. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Now, the big international story, Russia opposition leader and vocal critic of Russian President Vladimir Putin, Alexei Navalny, has died in jail, according to Russian authorities. He was serving a 19-year jail term in one of the country's toughest jails, where he was moved last year. The opposition leader reportedly lost consciousness on a walk, with all resuscitation efforts failing. However, the cause of his death is yet to be determined. In 2012, Navalny led mass protests against Putin, sparked by widespread rigging of Russia's parliamentary election allegations. Ukrainian President Zelensky has blamed Putin for the death. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said that the death underscores the rot in the system in Russia.